Goblins, as you saw last round with Max Tietze, very much like Adrian said, old school, has lots of options out there to battle things. I just ran into Marius before there. He was very excited actually with Maverick to play Max, even though the last round.
Yeah,
no,
he's
not playing
Maverick. He's not playing Maverick. He's playing Rug.
Yeah.
The difference that he has actually in this Rug deck, this is kind of a little bit of technology. He's playing Punishing Fire, which is basically the last time we've seen Punishing Fire was in the modern decks, especially the modern deck that allowed the win for Brian Kibler at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, Marius, when I said earlier, when I just talked to him, he was very, very excited about this match. I thought he had a great advantage against Max, and it could be very true, especially with some of those cards he has in his deck.
Yeah, Punishing Fire is really, really good against Goblins. Can pick off pretty much any of the creatures in his deck at will. In addition to all the traditional stuff that Rug Delver has. Really, the top four is kind of like a showcase for the rising decks of the format. There's 4 decks that really define the format at the moment, and it's Stoneblade, Blue, Red, White Miracles, Rug Delver, and Goblins. Really is just the new upstart, really breaking back onto the scene, like basically just with this invitational.
Would you consider Goblins just outside of Tier 1?
I think it's actually getting
like
back to
1.5?
No, I think it's back to Tier 1 now.
Okay.
I think it was like probably having some trouble before Avacyn Restored. Avacyn Restored really kind of like changed the mix generally with Cavern of Souls. That card is really the thing that's brought back. It meant that they can land their lackeys on turn 1 without worrying about Force of Will or sometimes Days.
Well, we will see here what happens. Max will be on the play due to his higher seed in this matchup, and with Goblins being able to play that first turn 1 lackey very much to his advantage. The last games he played, Max was Cavern of Souls right away out of the board, right away out there, gets the advantage of that right away.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's 2 crucial turn 1 plays that Tietze can play, which is turn 1 lackey. Also, he can play Aether Vial. Those 2 are like very important. A lot of Goblins players I've been talking to over the weekend basically said that actually they'd rather not play the lackey. That in nearly every case they'd rather have Vial than lackey, mainly because what it allows some really, really gross turns on turn like 4 and 5, basically setting up matrons and leaders without having to like exhaust their mana, and while still allowing to put pressure on their opponent's mana with Wastelands and Prashadin Port.
Max had 3 Aether Vials before the last game was won, at values of 4, 5, and 3.
Yeah, absolutely. That game was a little bit of a blowout because his opponent he cast Pyrokinesis on his opponent, killing 2 Hierarchs and a Dryad Arbor. So just like put him all the way back to turn 1. He had no colored mana for several turns. Really just was not in that game.
Again, that shows you what the technology can do out there to give yourself a chance to win.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. The Pyrokinesis is really, really important in the aggro matchups. Really kind of like allows them to use his mana really efficiently in putting out the threats rather than having to use mana to give answers. And that's one thing that Goblins really, really does well. It's a very mana efficient deck, puts out a lot of threats for basically no mana.
I like it. He calls it Punishing Rug.
Yeah, no, so the Punishing obviously comes from the Punishing Fire. Punishing Fire is a card, it's a red and 1, does 2 damage. But the especially interesting thing is basically whenever an opponent gains life, you can pay 1 red and return it to your hand. So he uses that in combination with Grove of the Burnwillows. Grove of the Burnwillows is a card from Future Sight. It's a land. It's kind of like a Carplusan Forest, except in reverse. Instead of taking damage when you tap it, you actually give your opponent life. So the combination, you tap it for red, give your opponent 1 life, you get to return Punishing Fire back to your hand, you get to fire off again and again and again. and there's not many ways that you can stop that if he actually gets that working.
All right. Let's get the party started here.
Yeah, and so Max Tietze's Goblins is quite a lot different to the other two Goblins decks that we've seen this weekend. The other two piloted by Anthony Eason and Cedric Phillips. Both those like really tried to take advantage of like a little bit of the mid game, but like the one thing that Max has, he has full set of War Chiefs, full set of pile drivers. He has a Mog War Marshal. He really is just trying to kind of like combo him out with either Siege Gang, Skirk Prospector, sometimes Sharpshooter. Really just like old school combo goblins.
It looks like when Max originally opened up his hand of 7, saw no land in there, so obviously he is going down to 6. Marius looks very content with his hand, getting ready to go here. We will see what happens when Max goes to 6. Six mana or 6 cards on the draw doesn't necessarily hurt Goblins. Goblins runs everything so efficiently.
Yeah, so it's six cards is not so bad. The big reason for that is they have access to Goblin Matron, and Goblin Matron is obviously allows him to tutor for any Goblin, usually tutoring for the Ringleader. The Ringleader basically draws up to 4 Goblins depending on how many on top of your deck. Reveals the top 4 cards, you take all the Goblins and put them to your hand, so it allows you to gas back up.
Again, not a surprise, first turn, Cavern of Souls, Goblin Lackey, met by a Nibble Mongoose.
Yeah, he's going to easily want to trade this. I don't think he's going to allow, I don't think he's going to allow the Lackey to hit, but if I was Max, I'd probably just take it. I don't think there's anything that's going to change. You don't really have a good way of getting rid of that thing. He absolutely offers the trade, and Marius takes it very, very gladly.
Okay, let's see what Max does now.
I think he has a War Marshal. War Marshal in turn 2, not as exciting a turn 2 play as like something like a Pile Driver. Okay, so he plays an Arid Mesa, sacks it. Probably searching just for probably a mountain right now. I think he doesn't want to open himself up to too many wastelands. He knows a Rug Delver is particularly wasteland heavy.
For those of you just joining us, this is the semifinals of the Legacy event here at the SCG Open Series in Atlanta, Georgia. I am Robert Martin, joined in the booth by Ben Sack. We are seeing Max Tietze and Goblins versus Marius
Cholewa
and Punishing Rug.
So, yeah.
Okay, this card right here has been one of Max's all-star cards. It's given him card advantage. It's given him everything he's wanted. Card that looks normally doesn't really look that effective, but in Goblins or in anything, it's really effective. Oh, Tarmogoyf here.
Yeah, it's a fairly small Tarmogoyf, only a 2/3. So the Mog War Marshal has traditionally been in versions of Goblins that have been a little bit more combo-y. The one thing that the War Marshal does is it provides a lot of bodies to sack to Skirk Prospector. Skirk Prospector is from Onslaught, it's 1 red. You can sack a Goblin for 1 red mana, so over what it actually effectively does is it generates mana for Max. So he plays Matron. My guess is he's going to go for Ringleader.
Ringleader right away.
Pretty much, I would say about 75% of the time it goes for Ringleader. Oh, okay, so he's going for a Incinerator. At the moment, it's a 2/3 Tarmogoyf, so Incinerator will kill it. Incinerator itself is a creature when he cycles it, so it does not get bigger when he does that. Okay, Marius untaps. He actually has another Tarmogoyf in hand, a Delver of Secrets, Punishing Fire.
Taps 2.
Yeah, the Punishing Fire is the Matron. Wants to get that going. Wastelands the Cavern. Really puts him back kind of pretty far. And on top of that, kind of like makes it very hard for him to actually cast Incinerator.
Also increases the size of the Tarmogoyf also.
Yeah, the Tarmogoyf I believe is it's 3/4 now because of the Punishing Fire.
Okay. Max swings back.
Max may be short on mana again. Plays a Pile Driver. Pile Driver. One of the cards that's like a little bit on the wane. I mean, it actually did not show up in Cedric Phillips' main deck. He only had one in the sideboard, pretty much just to so he drew his Grove, pays a red, returns it to his hand, and then blows away the Pile Driver. This is looking very bad. He's for Max. Max is short on mana. Marius has already got his card advantage engine going, and it doesn't look like he's slowing at all.
Okay, he will swing in for 2. Tap 1.
Yep, looks like
Aether Vial.
Yep, Aether Vial basically will allow him to start getting a few more expensive goblins into play.
Okay, Tarmogoyf swings again for another 3, taking Max down to 11.
Still a huge problem for Max. Doesn't have a very good answer for Punishing Fire. I don't think he has too many other answers in Punishing Fire. Even cards like Extirpate aren't fast enough to get rid of Punishing Fire because of the fact that Grove of the Burn Willows is a mana ability and cannot be responded to.
Another Tarmogoyf. Puts 2 3/4s out there. Pressure.
Yeah, no, it's like all the attacking is stopping right now. And Max is just really going to be tough.
Okay, there's another Pile Driver.
Okay, so
Brainstorm.
Marius cuts Brainstorm. One of them is a Flooded Strand. 2 Dazes. I don't think he wants those Dazes.
No.
But he's probably going to have to draw at least one of them. Draws a Daze. Probably plays the Flooded Strand that he got from the Brainstorm. Returns and then kills the Pile Driver as he did before. This is really, really going to make short work of Max. This game very much, I think, Marius very much in the driver's seat.
Okay, that will take Max down to 5.
He played the Delver of Secrets. I just assume there are Delver of Secrets. I guess
Yes.
he could if you cast Mayor of Averbach, it would be surprising.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that on his list. He might be able to get it to flip.
Okay, Max really, really kind of between a rock and a hard place. That Punishing Fire just not giving him any room to develop his board.
Yeah, next time he'll knock out another Goblin with it again. Just slowly, one by one, just shooting him out of the sky.
Yeah, so he cuts Incinerator, cycles it, needs to draw a land here. Does draw one, but it's probably too little, too late. It's caught on a little bit too tight a mana situation.
Okay, Marcus will cycle that because we know he has Daze in there. He does not want that Daze in his hand.
Yeah, probably just get a tropical island, set himself up. Doesn't really need to do too much now. Just needs to keep attacking with the Tarmogoyfs, keep recursing his Punishing Fires to make sure that there's no more goblins in the way.
Okay, Max swings in, or Marius swings in, potentially for 6.
Okay, so it's pretty much chumping time. 1 on each. Okay, yep. So those goblins are gone. I don't know what Max is actually waiting for here. Draws his 3rd Pile Driver and plays it by the vial. Still really not doing too much.
Turns it to 3, so obviously he hasn't played at 3 here.
Yeah, he's got it. I think he's trying to get it up to 4. He has some ringleaders in hand.
Okay.
But I think it may be too late. At the end of turn, I'm almost definitely gonna see a returning of the Punishing Fire, killing the Goblin, and then allowing Marius to attack.
Okay, taps it.
Okay, this is gonna be a Matron. No, it's a War Chief. War Chief. No, not bad. Has some He should probably another war chief.
Two war chiefs.
2 war chiefs. I think he may just pass here. He can't really afford to get hit.
He needs to have 2 bodies back for sure to block. And he is going to. He's going to knock one out. Take care of that pile driver.
Yep.
Right, passes back.
Yeah, he can only return the
Brainstorm? Oh, Ponder. Okay, Ponder. Delver Secrets. Looks like another Tarmogoyf.
in the wasteland, I believe. I don't think. I don't think he really wants any of those. I mean, he could want another Tarmogoyf. Alright, he actually to go for Tarmogoyf is not too bad.
Okay,
Attacks, forces a single block.
Okay. Locks.
I think he's gonna probably play. He hasn't played a land this turn. He's looking, asking if he played a land. He has not played a land this turn.
Volcanic Island, Tarmogoyf is in his hand.
So what he can do is play land, return. He's playing Tarmogoyf. Oh, maybe. I don't think he played a land, but I think he. It's okay.
He's
Now
got 3, 4, 5s out there. And we know Max has 2 Goblin War Chiefs in hand.
yeah, and another ringleader. He's just working, thinking whether he should tick it up, and he decides to here. Plays his ringleader.
Matron.
So
Wow.
the full amount.
Hits all 4. But again,
Yeah, like it's probably time for Marius to actually start burning his face with the punishing fire. Like the ground seems to be getting gummed up. He can still attack with his Tarmogoyf. Still has to be blocked by all of them. Have to be blocked.
Yes.
So, but the fact is, Max has recovered like card-wise, and so he won't be able to actually like really attack into the goblins effectively. So Max, I think, is contemplating playing at least the Prospector here.
and there it is.
The one thing that he does, he was thinking, he's actually short on red mana. The one thing that he would love to do is like be able to. Oh yep, he's going to sack that, get a red mana. The one thing he would love to have is a Monk War Marshal right now. No, Max just knows he can't win there, so he just packs it all up. So Marius Cholewa takes a 1-0 lead. This is a really, really good matchup for Marius. I think the Punishing Fires are particularly good at suppressing the goblins of Max Tietze.
And we are back. Robert Martin, joined in the booth by Ben Sec. As you know, at this point again, at the semifinals of the Legacy event, we are giving away 6 free months of Star City Games Premium if you use the hashtag SCG Premium, which is right there in the middle of your screen, to this trivia question.
Okay.
Now, obviously, know with Return to Ravnica, Evan Irwin does his set reviews, and they are quite hysterical. Who is the Star City Games premium writer that does these set reviews with Evan Irwin? if you know who does the set reviews with Evan Irwin on Star City Games in the premium, they go through every card of every color by color, and in this set they're going to have that extended gold collection of cards that they're going to go through. If you know who that is, send your answer to SCG, #SCG Premium. Right now, you could be a winner of 6 months of SCG Premium. And if you don't know, by me giving you all those hints, technically,
You could go right to the website,
yes,
and find out.
also, this technically, the way they interact with each other, this could be Evan Irwin's other son.
Oh.
You look at it, this could be Evan Irwin from 10 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
You never know.
So that's the hint there.
We are going back to our patch now. Game 2, Max Tietze up 1-0
So
over Marius. We're going to see here the sideboards here, showing both of you here.
really, Max is going to bring in. He's definitely bringing in the Relic of Progenitus. Like, those are very good against both the Nimble Mongoose and the Tarmogoyf in Marius's deck. He's not bringing the Angel of Despair. That's really there for the show and tell matchup. Crossing Grip doesn't really do anything. I think Pyrokinesis probably doesn't do enough, so it's probably not worth it. And it's obviously Red Elemental Blast. It's possibly a card he wants to bring in. Though there isn't as many counterspells in this version as there are in like other versions. He doesn't have. Well, he has 4 Dazes, 3 Spells Pierce, and 4 Force of Wills.
But if you noticed, as soon as Marius got to the Dazes, he was immediately shuffling them away, wanting to not, because they were not effective at all.
Yeah.
More than likely, that could be a situation of, does he even need them?
Yeah. No, absolutely. The only problem from his end is that he doesn't really have that many cards to bring in. There's only Scavenging Ooze, which definitely comes in. It's possible that he's going to bring in Ancient Grudge to deal with the Aether Vials. The problem with that, just in general, is that the Aether Vials often have already done most of their damage by the time, if you happen to draw them late in the game. So you really, really need them early, and if you don't have them early, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Also, it's a very limited card. If he doesn't have it, and that Ancient Grudge is just sitting in his hand doing nothing.
Yeah, there's not really that many artifacts in his deck apart from the Aether Vials. In fact, I believe there's no other artifacts. But he may not think that Daze is good enough at all, such that he probably will just like take them out. But he only has 4 Dazes to take out, so maybe he's kept in a combination of them.
One never knows. We will see at this hand. Now, Marius will be on the play here. I mean, sorry.
Max. Marius is on the play. Sorry, Max is going to be on the play because Marius won it.
Okay. Max last time came out with turn 1 Cavern of Souls, then with Goblin Lackey, which immediately got met by a Nimble Mongoose, and then they traded. For those of you just joining us, we are at the semifinals of the SCG Open Legacy Finals. We have been through the Invitational Finals, the Standard Open Finals, and now we are at the semifinals of Legacy. Max Tietze with Goblins. Looks like again he might be going down to 6 against Marius, who is at Punishing Rug up 1-0. I'm Robert Martin, joined in the booth by Ben Sec. According to Adrian Sullivan's numbers, we are at round 52.
Yep, absolutely. I think they're still shuffling. I don't think they've mulliganed yet. Okay. But it's funny. The relics also are going to be good against the Punishing Fires. He'll be able to be removed from the graveyard. But funnily enough, Grafdigger's Cage is not going to be able to actually stop that, because it's not really casting it from the graveyard, it's not playing it there, it's just returned to his hand. He actually casts it from his hand each time. So Grafdigger's Cage is not going to make any impact in this game. But Relic has a chance to, though, if Marius has an untapped Grove of the Burn Willows, it won't be able to happen.
Grove of the Burn Willows, as we saw last game, came in, was a very effective card for him.
Yeah, no, it's really the only card of its type. It's the only way. It's a combo that like really came into its own at the Pro Tour at Pro Tour Austin, which was the first of the 2 Pro Tours that Brian Kibler won. It was a combo that really kind of was missed by a lot of players at that tournament. People kind of, really didn't see it at all. And in a field of Zoo, it really kind of like punished everything. Now, the funny thing is, in Legacy, there's a lot of similar decks that get hurt by it. Maverick is really hurt by it. Merfolk is really hurt by it. Goblins is really hurt by it. I think Marius is really kind of like fortunate to have this matchup here because it's really brutal in this match.
Well, it's amazing sometimes how good technology and the right matchups can help out. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the match, Marius was very excited to see this matchup. He was excited to have goblins. He did not want to play miracles. He would have been, or the other matchup, he was much happier with this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think he still probably would rather play the Stoneforge deck rather than the blue-red-white miracles deck. Even though that Todd Anderson won the Invitational earlier with a rug over miracles, I think this is a much worse matchup because instead of having Stifles, he has Punishing Fire, which is a card that's much worse in the miracles matchup.
All right.
Okay, Max opens with a Arid Mesa.
Pulling out a mountain.
Yep, that's an Ice Age Mountain. I love when people are starting to use kind of a lot of old school lands in their decks. Every deck has its own kind of personality, whether it's like revised white border lands, in this case Ice Age Mountains.
There we go. Turn 1 Aether Vial for Max.
Okay, no sacking by Marius. 1 counter on the Aether Vial.
This turn into a...
He really, if he wants to kind of like make an impact here, I think he needs a pile driver. He's just not really getting enough kind of like fast beats here.
Okay.
So he has a War Marshal. War Marshal was not as good for him last round. Would have probably preferred a pile driver just in general.
Okay, Marius sacrifices his land. Brings out, takes him down to 19.
See if we can see if Thought Scour probably himself. I really would hope. Oh wow!
There.
Wow.
Nice.
So he actually Thought Scoured a Punishing Fire to the graveyard.
And a surgical extraction.
Yeah, so it's like really like fortunate kind of Thought Scour there. He has a Grove in his hand, so it's like, absolutely what he needs right now.
Volcanic Island for Marius.
He's kind of sandbagging a little bit his Grove to avoid getting wastelanded when he doesn't need to return it to his hand. Wasteland is obviously one of the best ways of Max interacting with that combo. He probably needs to really just hold his wastelands to save for the Groves, because the Grove has a huge effect when he has the Punishing Fire in the graveyard.
Okay, he passes back.
Let's see if he's thinking of paying. I don't think so. So he's not paying. Puts another Goblin token in play.
Aether Vial goes up to 2 now.
Yep.
Another sack land by Max.
Uses the Wood Foothills. I think he's probably looking to get a Tiger here. No, just a mountain.
Now gives him Cavern of Souls, Mountain, along with the Aether Vial at 2 and 2 Goblin tokens.
Yeah, probably protecting against the Wasteland. Marius is, because he's running the Groves, actually, is running 1 less Wasteland, which is actually a pretty big deal. So he's played that, and are they going to violate anything else? No, he's going to Lightning Bolt. before any shenanigans happens there, he lightning bolts the war chief.
Wow,
passes.
That mild form of expression on Max's face kind of said it all.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it.
Here he thought he was gonna explode in for a quick 4, have the war chief that makes all his goblins have haste, and then all of a sudden, with one lightning bolt, it all gets struck down.
Yeah, so Marius does have another lightning bolt in his hand, so he's really actually kind of like not in any danger here. Just all his threats are live.
And Tarmogoyf comes down on the screen.
Yeah, so Tarmogoyf currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5 right now.
Oh, there's
3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yes, sorry. It's just creature instant land.
Okay, passes back to Max.
Max is in his upkeep. I believe. No, he's not in his main phase now. I thought he might be still in his upkeep, thinking about ticking up the Aether Vial.
Another mountain.
Playing a Relic of Progenitus.
This is gonna change things a little quicker. This is not what Marius really wanted to see here.
Yeah, no, this is a really, really important card right now. He can actually attack with his goblins, and Marius can't really block with his Tarmogoyf, because if he does, he actually gets to like remove everything in the graveyard. There's already damage on the Tarmogoyf, and Tarmogoyf basically dies as a state-based effect.
Okay, let's see what Max does. Maybe Max has something else in his hand to help out those goblins.
He doesn't really have any crusade effects. He has no goblin kings, no goblin chieftains.
Or maybe another war chief to get out there and push the pace even harder.
I think he's going to cycle. Oh, see, he's going to cycle his Gem Palm Incinerator on the Tarmogoyf.
Yep.
Draws a card. Now it only has 2 damage on it. Now if he removes the graveyards, which looks like he's doing right now. If he removes the graveyards, he'll get him to remove 1 card, which won't make any difference, and then get him to remove the rest of them. Moves, the Tarmogoyf goes to the graveyard.
There goes Tarmogoyf to the graveyard.
He draws a card for the relic. He's going to play a war chief, and then, but he's going to have a bolt. Marius has a bolt there, so it's still not getting that into play.
Another bolt takes him down to 15 after
yeah,
the bolt for defense.
Makes me think that maybe he should have just played the Grove earlier. Could have protected his punishing fire a little better.
Well, he has 2 of them in his hand now.
He's played it now, but it's almost a little too late.
What looks like a 3rd lightning bolt.
Yeah, the other devastating thing about the relic there, it's like resets the graveyards. Now there's only 2 cards in the graveyard. Max is going to play a ringleader. This is looking good for.
Let's see what he hits here.
For Max.
3.
Oh wow, three really good ones here. He gets a Goblin Sharpshooter, Goblin War Chief, and a Goblin War Marshal. He'll be able to play the War Chief, and then the War Marshal that turn, and even possibly play the Sharpshooter.
Let's see what decision Max takes here to go.
He's probably going to play the War Chief here and the Goblin War Marshal. So first the War Chief. He plays the land. War Chief.
Again.
Yeah.
But this one again will be met by another lightning bolt.
That's right. So he's basically trying to like set up a lot of haste here. There you go, lightning bolt number 3. No more haste, but he still does get to attack for 4.
All right, in come the goblins.
Marius drops to 11. What was a very promising situation. I mean, this could be all turned around with a punishing fire. Punishing fire would be really, really good. Oh, I think he might even have it in his hand. He does have it in his hand. This is going to give him like quite a lot of reach. He's paying for the echo.
Draws a card.
Okay, he's going to play it all. First, he's going to kill the 2/2. He's going to return to his hand.
Okay. Plays it again.
Plays it again, killing a War Marshal. Probably, I would probably keep the War Marshal. Well, I would not have hit that there. He should be trying to reduce the population of the goblins.
Yeah, that would have left him only at 3 goblins.
Yeah,
I mean, he knew eventually you would have to deal with it, but
yeah, but it means he still has 4 to deal with next turn.
yes.
Not exactly sure what was in his plan, unless he doesn't have any way of sweeping the board, so no good reason to kill that guy. I think that Max is considering which creature he plays. The problem is any good creature he plays is likely going to meet a fiery end.
Alrighty here. For those of you just joining us, this is the semifinals of the Legacy Open at the SCG Open Series in Atlanta, Georgia.
So he has.
I'm Robert Martin, joined by Ben Seck in the booth. Max T playing Goblins down. This is 1-0. Max on the play, play here, tapping 1 red. Looks like he's tapping all of them 4. No.
So he's playing a lackey. I think that might be it.
Interesting choice. Is he just...
No, he just needs to put more creatures out there.
Yeah.
Like anything of relevancy, he's going to put out there. There's pretty much no goblin that doesn't die to the. So he's making. Is he tapping his? No, he's just killing the lackey.
All right.
Draws a Delver of Secrets.
Goes back to Max. Max has 4 goblins on the board. An Aether Violet 4. 5 land on the board.
Yeah, so I think he's keeping the Grove untapped. Will definitely return that to his hand. And he may want to start trading right here. Just like if he just doesn't die, he's going to win the game with that punishing fire. All he has to do is basically kind of like, you know, ration his life total. Okay, so he's tapping to land. Incinerating that's no surprise, because I think he's half expecting.
Keeping the path as clear as possible for his goblins to keep swinging on through.
I'm really tempted to trade here. Like, he's only at 8. If he takes 4, this really actually like is kind of, oh wow.
Another relic.
He has to be very careful about his punishing fires now.
Uses the relic, sacrifices it.
Oh wow, no, that is not how it works.
He tapped the land.
No, but he oh, he tapped it with the
land.
No, he can return it as a pretty much as a mana ability. So
another goblin lack.
If he gains a life. Oh, that is. That might be it's a small mistake. And he's drawn a Tarmogoyf, which I think he's drawn a Tarmogoyf, which is pretty much the worst card. The worst card he could draw right now. Marius is like, after getting two punishing fires. The life trigger actually would have, yeah, the life trigger happened as a mana source. If he put mana into his pool. He might not have put mana into his pool, I guess. But if he did.
Okay, Tarmogoyf, which is...
It's a 1/2, which is big enough really, because there's only one 1/1s in play. He has only a mountain in hand, so the biggest problem is that he's at 5. And really will just alpha twice, and if he draws a blank next turn, he will die.
Looks like we're headed here to game 3 here in our semifinals match between Max Tietze and Marius Cholewa. Okay, for those of you again just joining us, this is the semifinals of the Legacy Open event at SCG Atlanta.
Okay, so 3 land is the War Chief. Oh, okay. So now the coast is clear for the Sharpshooter. It doesn't have haste, so it doesn't. I think he's just going to wait till the next turn before shooting his opponent all the way down. So it's going to. I would probably look at, yeah, tapping that seems right. I don't think there's actually that many cards that Marius can draw. He really needs. I mean, he can't. He drew a Brainstorm. He really needs to kill the. It's days something. The problem is that Sharpshooter needs to go quick, smart. And if that's not the case, the game will be over in Max's favor.
Alright. Cards on top. Taps 2 for another Tarmogoyf, giving him 2 blockers. Passes back.
Okay. Pretty much the game is over this turn. He just attacks with all his guys. There's going to be a Sharpshooter untapped trigger for each of those guys who dies. And he's already untapped, so he'll actually be able to kill him as long as nothing stupid happens.
Okay. In comes the 4 goblins.
He'll block 2 of them. Obviously, those 2. There's 2 triggers on the stack. He says, "I'm going to shoot you 3 times," and the game is over.
Okay, we go to a deciding game 3 here.
Yeah, it's a really tough kind of situation there. I think either Marius didn't know how the punish from fire interaction works with he can't get it stranded in his graveyard as long as he draws mana from the Grove of the Burn Wheelers, because the way that the rules work, the Grove acts as a mana ability, which happens to be faster than anything in Magic, which triggers the life gain also faster than anything in Magic.
Correct.
And therefore, the trigger allows him to pull it back to his hand, even before the Relic of Progenitus actually removes it. As far as I know, I mean, I could be wrong with how maybe it's a trigger that hits the stack like everything else, but I know that you used to be able to dodge Extirpate with that. But we'll maybe someone on the Twitterverse will correct me. You can let us know on #SCGInv.
Or SCG Live, at SCG Live. You can let us know exactly if Ben is correct on that.
I'm going to go to the Twitterverse right now, so you can tell me.
Okay, meanwhile, both gentlemen are sideboarding right now. Marius on the play here.
So most people are telling me that the trigger is actually respondable to, so by Rashad importing the Grove, he is not able to he is able to respond to the trigger with the relic. The thing I realized I was thinking about was Extirpate happened at split second speed, and you're able, usually you can't respond to it, but you can respond to it with a mana ability, thus returning to your hand. That was the interaction that I was remembering, not necessarily that the trigger itself happens at mana speed.
All right.
So Marius definitely played it right. I was wrong. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time.
No. If everybody knew every rule off the top of their head while they were doing coverage for 50 some odd rounds by then, I would be amazed. Even the best don't get everything right. And of course, as soon as you get something wrong, the entire universe lets you know of it.
That's good. I like to learn from the universe. So universe out there, all the mistakes that I've done this weekend, please let me know. Yes. I would like to know.
Hey, we are only trying to do this to get better at it every time, to provide you the best coverage possible. Now, if you've been with us all weekend long, we've been here for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, non-stop coverage, at least 12 hours the last 2 days. I believe it was 15 hours the first day, yesterday, and today it's going to be somewhere in that same general area. We were here at 8 o'clock this morning, and it is currently 10:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, we have been here going on 14 hours today. Almost 15.
So that's a long time.
Absolutely.
So Marius is going to be on the play here. Really has to hope that the two relics was the kind of deciding factor. It reset the Tarmogoyfs, it reset the Nimble Mongoose, and more importantly killed the Punishing Fire. Just really kind of brutal interactions. Is
this the time where maybe he contemplates bringing in Ancient Grudge?
No, because I don't think he only plays it on the turn he's going to use it, so
okay.
There's not going to be an opportunity to really Ancient Grudge. Cost 1 mana to cast, one mana to remove the graveyards from game. So I think that's not really going to be Ancient Grudge he may bring in anyway just to deal with Aether Vial, but even then, he doesn't really have a lot of good cards. As I said before, he only has Scavenging Ooze that is 100% coming in. And it's only coming in because it happens to be another body that can gain him a bit of life and get a little bigger. It's not particularly great against goblins. It's not particularly bad either. But he does have the 4 dazes, which are not particularly good against Max. Also, to be honest, the Spell Pierces are probably worse than the dazes. So I would actually expect that the Spell Piercers come out before the Dazes do.
Okay, we have both of them keeping their 7. Max or Marius first turn Volcanic Island into Ponder. Looks like another land, potentially another Ponder there.
Is Marius happy with that? No, yeah, I saw like some.
Okay, we see
some punishing fires in that Ponder. I think he definitely wants to keep him.
I also saw lightning bolt in Marius' hand. All right, Wasteland right away.
Either Max does not have a 1-drop, or like I'm not always the biggest fan of like wasting on turn 1 unless you really don't have anything else to do, because it doesn't allow you to have any significant advantage unless they happen to have no other land available.
Okay.
And it looks like Max has an Aether Vial in hand, so I think you're better off actually playing turn 1 Aether Vial than wasting turn 1 and hoping to mana screw your opponent.
Well, it also does look like he has a Cavern of Souls in his hand, along with another land.
Oh, he wastes again.
Wasteland.
Well, this at the very least is happening, allowing Marius to get to threshold.
Yeah, he's already up to 3 on that threshold.
But he does not have any more land, so the mana screw plan happens to work here. When you do have 2 wastelands, it makes a little bit more sense.
Cavern of Souls lacking. Passes back. Go.
Yes, so chumps here. Plays Aether Vial. Aether Vial is going to be. Oh, plays another lackey. Really, just one more turn, and he doesn't. And this is going to be pretty much over because he drew another wasteland. The Rug deck has no basic land, so whatever land he's going to be drawing, Max basically wasting him out of the game. Very reminiscent of the old Strip Mine days where you play a turn 1 Black Vice and strip them, and they couldn't dump their hand.
I like Strip Mine. Very fun card from back in the day. All right.
I don't know about very fun.
Well, it is if you're the one playing it.
Sure.
It is not if you're the one going against it. All right, Aether Vial.
Yeah, so it was not a wasteland. It was a Risha port, but the port is just as bad, really, for Marius.
Okay, Volcanic Island.
The damage is done now. So like the volcanic, he has a bolt in hand. He can kill something here, but there's really a very unlikely comeback from Marius this game.
Looks like he has a Daze in his hand also. Lightning Bolt. Tarmogoyf. Marius in a rough position here, trying to claw his way out of the fact that Max has hit him with 2 wastelands already. Max has 3 goblins on the board, Aether Vial at 1, a Cavern of Souls to be able to cast goblins.
Yeah, so Max is likely to just attack here. He'll get his lackey bolted because he doesn't want any more development from Max's side of the board. But the Aether Vial's already down. He's going to hit for 5 with the 2 goblins here. He's definitely going to wait and tap the land in upkeep.
Okay, takes Marius down to 14. Sack land comes into play,
yep,
which will be used right away.
Yep, he'll get a tropical with that one.
Okay.
It's possible he has. If he has a Nimble Mongoose, it'll actually have a chance of lasting a little longer because he won't be able to attack effectively.
It will have threshold.
And he does have a Nimble Mongoose, so it's 2, 4, 6, 7. So he does have threshold. It's 3/3 untargetable. I still my money will definitely be on Max at this point. The Vial is going to be like very effective at like continuing the pressure.
The Vial goes up to 2. A relic right here would be nice. Makes that Nimble goes back down to a 1.
Absolutely. Oh, and there it is.
There it is.
Yep. that relic is brutal. Just does every game here that he's drawn the relic is like it's a huge deal.
Yep.
He can now attack pretty much with impunity here. Like any block is going to just just be useless. So like it'll just save damage. He's going to do it. He knows he's fairly inevitable. Needs to save the damage anyway.
Okay.
He's going to do one, and I'm not sure exactly why he's going to do one, but does he lose threshold? I guess.
Yes, he is down.
Oh well, okay. So
Now
just
he's threshold, but without a mongoose in play.
yeah. So I mean, I guess it does allow him to like save his relic, though I think he kind of wants to draw. Oh, he's going to play another. No, he has another relic in hand, which I think he just wants to keep in play, just in case there's a. I think you just want to like empty the graveyard here.
Well, Marius does have a Tarmogoyf in hand, so keeping that relic alive isn't exactly the worst thing, because he could, if he plays that, then he gets rid of it. Tarmogoyf goes down. I think there's a Grove of the Burn Willows.
Okay, so he's going to play Scavenging Ooze. He really should empty the graveyard in response to the Scavenging Ooze, so he doesn't gain any more life. Or I think is he going to do that?
Okay, yes, he's going to do that.
So draws a card, draws another Aether Vial.
Wow, 2 Aether Vials going. This is going to look really good.
Yeah, so and he has another War Chief in his hand here, so he's going to be able to vial out the War Chief. Probably going to cycle and incinerate it if I'm not mistaken. That's in his hand.
To get rid of the Scavenging Ooze right away.
Yeah, it's just I could be wrong with the exact. He definitely wants to doesn't want to attack into the Scavenging Ooze yet.
Okay, there is the War Chief.
So, but he's going to get dazed here. He's not like. I'd be surprised if it's not. Wow, he didn't daze.
He casted the Cavern of
Oh,
Souls.
cast it with the Cavern. Yep.
Okay.
My bad.
Getting another War Chief into his hand. Only hit 1 of 4, but
Really doesn't matter at this point.
More gas.
Yeah, so he really has to. The only thing he can do is really block the pile driver. Take 6, go to 5. Unless there's, potentially, not even potentially, if you had Pyroclasm.
Yeah.
Even then, nothing there.
Surgical Extraction's not going to help him right now.
Okay.
Tarmogoyf shows him his hand, shakes hands. Congratulations to Max Tietze winning 2-1. Marius Cholewa, Punishing Rug. Goblins moves on to the final.